you are watching this video right now. But have you ever thought that there is actually no such thing as seeing? The inside of our brain is a pitch-black room. No light ever enters. Our eye is actually a tool that collects photons, light particles from the outside. It converts them into electrical signals and sends them to the visual center at the back of the brain. In other words, your brain receives nothing but raw electrical signals. So what is it that interprets these electrical signals as an image? There is a consciousness there. There is software. And the real question is, was this software installed along with this magnificent hardware? Or was it written step by step over millions of years? Let's first look at what science tells us for sure. These are undisputed data based on observation and measurement. First, datum. The eye has a data processing capacity equivalent to 576 megapixels. This is a measurement result, well above even the best professional cameras. Second, datum. Light passing through the eye lens falls inverted on the retina. Anyone can test this. It's an optical fact. Our brain corrects this image via software. Third, datum. There are no photoreceptors where the optic nerve exits the eye. In other words, we have a blind spot. Our brain fills this gap using surrounding data. This is a neurological observation. These are facts that science has observed, measured, and tested repeatedly. Now let's come to the main topic of discussion, the interpretation of this data. One group of people draws the following interpretation from the same observations. For the eye to work, the lens, retina, optic nerve, and the visual center in the brain must exist simultaneously. If one is missing, there is no such thing as half seeing, there is not seeing at all. Just like the gears in a watch. Take out a single gear, and the watch stops. According to this interpretation, such a system could only have been designed at once by an engineer. According to this view, the eye is an engineering marvel and points to the existence of a creator. But beware, this is an interpretation. It is not scientific observation, but the meaning derived from observations. Another group interprets the same observations quite differently. Look, the eye is not perfect. The retina is arranged backward. Light-sensitive cells are behind, vessels and nerves are in front. That is, light passes through the network of vessels and nerves before reaching the cells. In engineering, this is like cables running in front of your camera. Bad design. However, in the squid's eye, the retina is arranged correctly with the vessels behind. If there was a creator, why would he give the squid a good eye and us a flawed one? These mistakes are patches made by evolution with the materials at hand. Proponents of the design interpretation respond, that inverted arrangement is not an error, but a mandatory engineering solution for nourishing and cooling the cells. Photoreceptors in the retina are the cells that consume the most energy in the body. The vascular layer behind nourishes and cools them, just as a computer processor needs a cooling system. Again, beware. This is also an interpretation. Both sides accept the same observation, that the retina is arranged backward, but assign different meanings to it. Now let's look objectively. Which side's interpretation is more consistent with the data we have? First point, wait millions of years with a half eye provides no advantage. Every part of the eye works in perfect harmony with the others. Without one of these parts, there is no such thing as seeing. This suggests that the system must exist as a whole, all at once. Second point, sensitivity and optimization. 576 megapixels. Autofocus. All of this happens in milliseconds. This level of optimization is one of the hardest things to explain by coincidence. Third point, the retina debate. High-energy components need cooling. The network of vessels behind meets this need. So, the apparent flaw is actually a mandatory engineering solution. In a high-performance system like the human eye, the squid's solution wouldn't work. Fourth point, the logic of analogy. Every complex system has a designer. The eye is many times more complex than a phone. Then why not use the same logic for the eye? In this debate, it is impossible to answer without understanding the other side. They accept scientific data but derive a different meaning. Traces of evolution are seen in perceived flaws. But no one observed how the eye emerged. Science observes how it works, but when it comes to how did it start, science falls silent. Interpretations fill this silence. Looking at the interdependence, precision, and engineering explanations, many find the engineering perspective more logical. But the other side forms their own interpretations through the diversity in nature. There is no definitive answer beyond science. If the eye is a lens and the brain is a processor, who is the viewer aware of the image? The eye is an engineering marvel. How it formed is a matter of interpretation. What do you think? Let's meet in the comments. Thanks for watching.